So you know, mine's 420RU2 at Gmail. So if you ever need to email me, you can email me directly.
Right.
It's the same as my channel name, but at Gmail.
Okay.
And then, yeah, did I give you one of my cards?
I can't remember. I'm
I'll
so
give you
scared.
another one. I
I
brought it
can't.
home.
I'm under so much stress. I can't think straight. I just finally fired my son in private accounting because they're charging him after an illegal shit that they did to him. And I don't give a shit what they found. They don't. You don't treat it like that and get away and not suppress it. So I finally fired a private shit because they were trying to rail in the public defender. All that stuff. Last week when she found out that he emailed saying I'm the lawyer now. Sign this file.
Hey, howdy. How you doing? And I was surprised you cared.
Hey Al. Hey Taz. Hey Sheltered. We're in Spokane, Washington, right in front of the county courthouse. This gentleman that we're here about was murdered by a Spokane City cop back in January, and they're not doing anything about it. They're just letting it go by. Hey, Lori. Hey, will not comply. Hey, Gage. I'm here with questionable authority. Whoops, sorry about that, folks. Couldn't read anything with my screen protector on there. I'm here with questionable authority, and people are protesting the murder of David Novack from in January.
She's walking.
Hey, Taz.
Well, one would like to help.
With the little kid in the front. Oh, you went behind.
That'd be a good one. Yes. Lighting's good. Photos
Yeah, they
good.
did,
Okay.
actually.
Thank you.
But if you watch the video that was released, there was no reason for them to shoot him. There were no gunshots. The cop just had a hair trigger. Hey, Defane.
What? You know, have you guys heard anything about Rankin? I had a pastor come down here. We marched the 7th of every month. I had a pastor come from a church up here on my north side, but I don't know at all. They came down and said Rankin has quite a reputation for being mean and harassing the street kids downtown.
I
I haven't heard much about it. I was actually doing a personal request for his personal file. See if I
Well,
can find that. But I have seen him around. And see, people like me, when we know our rights, they want to stay away from us.
badly.
They can harass us, so.
well, we
But I
haven't
have seen
actually
him.
filed a complaint against him. We filed a claim for damages with the city of Spokane. Once you do that, you have to wait a minimum of 60 days for them to respond before you can actually file a case. Everybody's like, why didn't you file a case? Why didn't you do that? Our goal is trying to get them to turn the information over to you without being forced, because when you force them, you have to put specific things you want. Well, you might not ask for the right things. There might be things you know to ask for, so you always want them to voluntarily, hand things over. So that's what we're hoping or we're trying to accomplish. But as far as, complaints against Rankin and things in his employee file, is her son. And Christine, when he
Hey,
did that
time
to
for
Chase,
changes.
when he did that to Chase, he got put on administrative leave, didn't he? Or he got in
He
trouble.
got put on a minute.
Hey, Prince.
No, I don't believe they
And
did
Pirate.
anything because it was still in investigation from the ombudsman.
But there was you, and there was another incident on there
You
where
for
he
a
did get
second.
sent to a class.
You
and
can
he got
sign it
pulled
wherever
out
you want.
pulled off of patrol for a while. Over
If
it.
they did, they never told me.
I'll have to send it to you because they did do something over there.
Well, you know, one thing about Rankin,
Send.
one thing about Rankin is he had seen active duty in Afghanistan, and I believe it was either 2014 or 2015, and he should have never been a police officer. That's why he had the hair trigger. Looking at that video that you guys released, He said, "Get on the ground." Boom. I mean,
He took
didn't
no
even give
cover
him.
or nothing. All the other officers were taking cover. They were crouched down. He just walks up there and over the other officer's left shoulder.
That's what they teach you in Afghanistan.
Shoots over his shoulder. Well, here they're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to have any officers between you and the person where you're firing your gun. Because the other officers behind him said, well, we would have shot. But
It's a
you were in the
military
way."
thing.
But see, all
Hey,
the other
Charles.
guys took cover and he didn't. He just walked up there and shot. But the thing we don't know is some of the officers are saying he got shot in the driveway, and Rankin's the only one that's saying no, he shot David in the front door. Which I don't really understand why it makes a difference, but
He lies in his reports. I have
Oh, yeah.
several instances where he's not truthful. He said that Chase has said, "Yeah, he said I'm going to tase you," and he said Chase Catelli answered, "I don't care." He said, "Don't tase me, don't tase me, don't tase me" 3 times. That's a little different than "I don't care."
You know, we didn't hear any of that on the video that was released.
What video was
No,
released?
she's talking about her son.
No, it's a different.
Oh,
Mine,
it was a different
Mine is
incident.
lucky he's still alive.
So Chase was the one, I remember, was he the one that the Spokane Police Guild said that they're fighting releasing the body cam footage?
That's a whole different one.
That's a different one.
Yes, because nobody even knows about the that this happened.
Yeah.
And except for that, I got up at that town hall and said something at the end, but nothing ever came from it. Nobody ever.
We should try and get that.
He was killed by
Body cam.
Spokane police, and he was not armed with a gun. January 7th. In his own front yard, he was a homeowner.
And if I remember right, the autopsy report said murder. Or homicide, excuse
He
me.
was 35.
Because they're not following the rules. Because we have cops from Afghanistan that need to go to the Wounded Warrior Project or something.
Yeah.
And they're just knee-jerk. And, you know, the FBI says that the chief of police isn't supposed to continue hiring someone that has these use of force problems, but I don't know why they continue to hire this man, Officer Brandon Rankin.
RU-420 comes out with me.
Nice to meet you. I'm Danny. I'm David's uncle.
All right, nice to meet you. Kaz said hi.
No,
I think it was.
to fly helicopter, and he deserves to live. He didn't do it.
Somebody else is calling him by his name. TXGX, I think.
Yeah,
Or
it is.
TXGT.
I turned on the air conditioner for my dog because I thought, wouldn't you know, the sun would come out and he would start suffering in there, and some animal rights person would probably bust the window, and
Unfortunately, you got to watch having your car running too.
I know it's probably illegal.
It is.
I can smell the exhaust, but it's
Oh, hi, puppy.
he panics and tears the
Hi,
seat
buddy.
apart, so I got him in the thing.
Well, you know, now Chase was your son, right?
Yeah, Chase is my son, and he's still.
We need to get the video on him.
Well,
There
that's
should
what
be
I
some
asked for
body
at
cam.
that town hall. On the September 16 at the town hall where you can get up and talk. At the
Okay.
very end of it, it's on their city channel, whatever news. It's at the very end of it, like the last 5 or 10 minutes. I was the only person that got up and talked, and I told about it. And Ben said, "Stay here, and afterwards." Ben Stuckard, "Stay here, and afterwards I'll look into it and stuff." And I have never heard from him since September 16.
We
Not
were
jack shit.
we were downtown when something recently happened down there, and Ben Stucker just like pushed right into me because I had a camera standing there filming.
If Sheriff Ozzy sees me on my thing like that, he's gonna really. I live out, where only the sheriff is. And right after our incident happened, we had a type of harassment. And I told the sheriff, not Ozzy, but I told the sheriff, I caught him out poking around in the sheds on the farm. We live on 100 acres that posted no trespassing. And I caught a sheriff out there poking around.
Well, thank God Ozzy's not. We're running for re-election. It'll be just some other crook.
Yeah, but who will we get? Like worse, Yeah, another crook. I don't know. what can you do? What can you really do? I think we need, in other cities where it's really bad and they're sick of their sons and their brothers and stuff getting killed, they have petitions. But I don't know how that
What
would
we
work
need
here.
is more people out filming the cops, because it's not against the law.
I'm terrified to even come to Spokane after this.
Well, I can understand. I can understand for you, you know, but more people need to get out there and record them because they're getting away basically with murder.
Well, and they don't have to know the Constitution. Why should they even have to read it or know what it says? Because they don't have to follow it because they get an 8-week paid vacation. for not
Exactly.
doing it.
This guy is part of the crew.
Yeah, my mom was saying.
Hey, Bama.
They operate.
See,
with
that's
a-
what we need to do is get rid of the police union, because that's one of the biggest problems out there. Is the police union is letting them get away with murder.
Then don't vote for that Nadine Woodward thing. I'm outside the
Oh,
voting
no.
thing.
I'm not voting for her. As soon as I found out she was all for the cops and stuff, no. And I don't really want to vote for Ben either because he, to me, is a piece of shit. And I wholeheartedly believe blue lives murder and blue lives lie. Or blue lies convict, excuse me.
Well, I was just really disappointed. Sheriff Halsey didn't even write me back and didn't even acknowledge.
Hey, Regina. Sorry if I'm missing some of you. It's pretty bright out here today, and I'm not seeing all the messages. So for all of you that have tuned in late, we're here at the Spokane County Courthouse, and we're with the family protesting the murder of David Novack, January 7th of 2019. I do have the released video from the officer on my channel if you want to look at that and make your determination if it was murder or what. All they found, they said he was out shooting, he was shooting a gun, but all they could find was a baseball bat. And he didn't even have the baseball bat in his hands when the cops showed up. Is this the first Monday of every month that you do this?
It's on the 7th she does this.
Okay.
The family does this on the 7th until they get justice of every month from noon to 1. But we don't want like rebel rousers
Oh,
down
no,
there.
no. We don't need that. We just need people who are...
Peaceful.
And that believe that we need some changes.
Yes.
Because blue lives murder.
That's right. That's right. Right. Well, that's exactly what happened.
And that's why we need more people out there recording the cops doing what they do.
Right.
They sure hate it. We had one cop downtown say he's afraid of what we do.
Sure, they should be.
Well,
It's making them accountable for their actions, and it's like we were talking earlier. David wasn't charged with any kind of crime or anything.
No, he didn't do anything
He
wrong.
didn't do anything wrong.
They got that cop got in a hurry, pulled that trigger way before he should have.
Well, first off, we got witness that their assault rifles are supposed to be locked in their trunks. They carry their shotguns and their sidearms with them inside the vehicle. When he got there, his assault rifle was in his hand as he got out of the car and was already loaded and cocked.
I've seen a bunch of those. That's something you would do if you were still in the military.
That's right.
and the shot that he killed him with is what they teach you in Afghanistan, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was one
They
shot.
teach you lung shot.
It was 6 seconds from the time that officer arrived on scene and he ran up and shot him. 6 seconds.
Yeah, he yelled down on the ground, boom. I mean, he didn't even hardly get ground out before he shot him.
And since he wasn't holding any kind of a weapon, he probably thought they were yelling at somebody else. And
Well,
was
so
like,
that-
what's going on?
yeah. So,
And if I remember right, the autopsy report said homicide was type of death.
Well, we haven't got all of the autopsy reports. We're still waiting on information. Why we're being the last ones to get it, because there's so much out there that we haven't got, that other people seems to be coming up with that we don't know.
Well, you know one thing for sure, that the police guild is hiding as much as they can because they don't want
I'm sorry, it was a yellow jacket.
the officer to be
He's back on you. Walk forward. It's your hairspray. Sorry. Yeah. So there's so much.
See, if we got rid of the police guild, that would sure help things. Because no government employee needs a union. The union was against government
That's correct.
and employers back in the day when it was designed. So these guys get the best of everything. They make six figures a year. If they go out and murder somebody, they get a paid vacation.
Yeah. Pretty much.
They do something wrong, they get a paid vacation, and that's not right.
They need to be held accountable for their actions, and just like anybody else. So
And unfortunately, they don't get held accountable
Not
for any of the
once.
stuff.
not one officer in the city of Spokane has ever been charged with a wrongful death or crime, as far as we know.
Because they get away with it because of the police union. They hide everything.
Well,
They buy them the best lawyers. You can't afford the lawyers that they get for them,
good.
and that's not right.
What was your name again?
Dean,
Dean. Okay. Nice to
I
meet
have a
you.
YouTube channel, 420RU2,
Yeah. That's what.
Corey,
Yeah.
Questionable Authority.
Well, cool.
Yeah, we need to get more people out watching the cops because that's the only way we're going to get some of this shit.
Well, you know what? They just got. I just go back to say they got to be accountable, just like all the rest of us. We're all citizens, and that includes them also.
Exactly.
So, all right, I'm gonna keep.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, I haven't been down this way for a minute. Oh, should we cross here and go across and get a site? Yeah, both Questionable Authority and I are carrying. We're rocking the Justice for David signs. I'm rocking the Blue Lives Murder shirt.
So here from across the street, we can see some of the protesters here. Sorry, it's funny, man.
Oh, that's all right.
Of course, we good show of support here. We got 420's got. You see your shirt, man.
Well, Bill, it doesn't do anything, but it sure opens up the eyes to some people that don't know anything about what happened. I've talked to a few people that have no clue that this guy was murdered by the police. They didn't even know it happened, that this guy was shot back in January. Even some of the people on the other side of the street, the family, were talking to people who had no clue that this happened. People don't pay attention to what's going on because there's so much fake news.
People that are here in support of this Novack.
And we need to get more people out here recording, protesting, and showing that we all have rights. The problem is nobody comes out and exercises their rights. Very few people are out exercising their rights.
Sad, man. Mike, do live feed keep shutting down?
Mine hasn't at all.
Shut down like 3 times. End it. Oh, again.
You're right. Amber was convicted, and then it looks like the police killed her, the witness against her. I can't prove that, but that sure gives one a thought that that's what happened. Because why else would all of a sudden that guy be dead? You heard about that, didn't you? You heard about that, didn't you? That witness against that chick cop down in Texas got murdered. Exactly, Norman. A little something helps. Doing nothing does nothing. At least we're bringing awareness to what's happening. They do this the 7th of every month because he was killed on the 7th. Granted, today, is today the 7th, Corey, or the 8th? Oh, it is the 7th. Look at all this shit. Look at all this shit that they've got in front of the courthouse. That looks really good. All this garbage. Makes our city look shitty. Hey, puppy dogs.
Alright, so can you tell me Chase's story again? I got my camera on. Do you mind doing it on camera?
I'm not. I have not like asked his attorney, but it's hearsay, and I'm not him.
Okay.
You know.
Well, can you tell me, so when did it happen?
It happened March 9 at about 11:05. He was legally standing at a gas station pump at Maverick on Nevada and Francis. Rankin pulled up behind him, ran his plate, and Rankin, it's my belief that Rankin didn't look at the screen right because he saw that apparently that Chase was a wanted person, which is not true. The warrant was for a completely different individual with a different spelling, and he had that information, reasonably.
Wouldn't want to double check that.
No.
He's in a hurry to do everything.
Oh, in a real
Surprised
hurry.
he didn't shoot him too.
Gets out and pulls your warrant, and my son's like, "What's it for? Can you check again?" And he's like, he's resisting and all that, and my son said, "You're scaring me. Let's have a supervisor." He's requesting a supervisor. Step it up. I saw the body cam for that, and so he smashes out his window and tases him in the chest, in the heart area, and then by then backup arrives, and they use force that they shouldn't have used, on anybody, and then the all within 5 minutes of my son saying, "Can you check again?" And so then afterwards, his sergeant informs him that Chase is a zero, doesn't have a warrant. They said allegedly find evidence on him and then go charge him with that, of course, And then he goes back to his patrol car and discovers that the warrant was for a completely different individual.
He should have done that
So
first.
yeah, so he can't reasonably say I reasonably acted from what the screenshot said I was looking at, because he didn't. He reasonably had all that stuff at his fingertips beforehand, and he should have. Even the FBI says if you get a positive hit on the NCIC, you're supposed to check it anyway. You're supposed to verify that
He
hit.
should have called in then at that point because he
Even if
used
he
his
did,
computer first.
He could have called in but we have CAD reports, but I don't know much about that. But he could have called in, but he didn't wait, and nor did he wait 5 minutes for a supervisor, or it wouldn't have happened. So,
Rankin's a loose cannon.
oh yeah, G.I. Joe.
We need to get that body cam footage and get it.
So your son's is still like in court then, right?
Has he got a good lawyer?
It was a year and a half ago, and it wasn't adjudicated. He has now private counsel.
Does he have one though for the violation of his rights?
The private counsel will handle both cases.
Okay, because I know sometimes you want a civil rights attorney separate from a criminal attorney. You know, because they do a little.
Well, the
bit.
whole law firm is on it, so there's
Oh,
multiple
okay.
lawyers.
Good.
Well, yeah, so I was just asking that because I want to request some information too on it. But I
I'll
can't-
let
they
you-
won't give me very much if it's still in court. So,
And it's still under internal investigation because the ombudsman, we froze the report. We froze that investigation because anything that the IA guys find, they can use against Chase and the criminal, so we just didn't. But I am hoping that there'll be a suppression and there won't be any runout or nothing on that.
Now Chase's last name is different, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because I was just wondering
I
if
don't wanna
maybe
say it
he
on
thought.
YouTube.
Right.
yeah, that's fine.
Right. That's
You
why I
know,
asked. That's why I
especially
asked.
like
the idea.
Completely different. It's not a reasonable mistake where they sound similar or spelled similar.
Okay.
No, they're very, very dissimilar. And the races
Well, no,
of
I
each
mean,
were
I
dissimilar.
wanted to make sure it wasn't Novack.
No.
Okay. That's thinking that maybe that's why.
There's more I could say to you in private. It's concerning.
Yeah, well, I want you to talk to her.
Yeah.
Screw me.
Well, anything I say is hearsay, so.
True.
That's true.
So maybe
That
after
shouldn't
we're
happen.
done, if you want to tell us
The
anything.
lawyer might be furious and told me not to, but I haven't talked to him yet, so he's done
Yeah.
nothing. I mean, do I have freedom of speech in this bitch?
Yes.
Or is this Spokanistan? I don't know.
You're right. You're right. It's Spokanistan for sure.
If I have all my papers.
You're right.
Jawohl, der Kommandant Ozzy.
The gendarmerie or whatever you call it is.
Yep.
I'm so angry.
Oh, I don't blame you.
can
I'd
only
be pissed
imagine.
too.
I'm only being nice in honor of the Novack family. Otherwise, I'd be like,
Now, are you related to the Novack?
no.
Oh, okay.
We met for mutual injustice, which is ranking.
Well, if you ever want to go cop watching those, you're more than welcome to go. You don't have to get out of the vehicle or anything. You can just sit in the vehicle and watch from there as a backup camera or something.
I would like to, but I'm babysitting my son's insane dog, which I have to go walk over here and check on him real quick.
He was laying in the back doing good.
The air conditioning is on, so he doesn't suffer.
He was just chilling. I wish I had my pickup because I got dog treats in there. Hey, he was right there
good.
chilling.
He's being a good boy. I have to make sure the air conditioning is actually working.
Hey, buddy. Hi, buddy. Oh, look at him.
Boy.
Look at him give Grandma
You know
kisses.
what? I felt bad because the little snow star thing wasn't pushed, so it wasn't even pushing cold air. I
Oh.
feel like an asshole. You're not parenting or anything.
No, he was giving you kisses.
No, there's so much I could,
I'm live, by the way.
yeah. So much I could say. But, you know, the people of the state of Washington in our Constitution, it says we will not yield our sovereignty to the public servants who we hire to serve us. And
See, and that's the problem. Too
that
many
is our state
people are.
constitution.
Ever since 9/11, people have given up their rights.
It's true. That's a crying shame because people do not know the history of what happened with Stalin, with Pol Pot, with Hitler, of what they did to the
And
people.
what's going on with Trump now?
I mean, these kids, people might find it important to teach them gay rights, but do they know what happens when they disarm people and when the police are led to act with impunity?
Oh, yeah.
Because they have immunity, that's why they do it.
They need to lose the police union, and they need to also lose their color of law BS. You know,
And the FBI doesn't seem to do anything about the color of law, but in this, you know, I mean, they have before in
Well,
this
the-
town.
problem is we got too many of these people thinking that the police are God, and they don't realize that they're killing people and murdering people. You want to walk down here towards Monroe, maybe, and
Some of our best police officers are veterans that fought in Iran and Afghanistan, they are the best.
Well-
but when they bring the war home, they need to be dealt with.
The thing
you do
is-
not need that kind of officer.
We don't need them here. You know, they served their time and everything. We don't need them as cops. Because it hasn't only happened here, but it's happened in a lot of other areas where police that have come from the Middle East, seeing the stuff that they've seen over there, they come back and start shooting people without hesitation, and they're killing them. And we don't need that. We need to get them some better job than being a cop, because they were trained to kill. It's not their fault that they were trained to kill, but they were trained to kill. And they come back, and you don't just stop killing people once you come back to the U.S. That's still ingrained in your...
Vietnam with bloodlust. We saw them come back with bloodlust. And a lot of these older vets recognize situations in which they recognize bloodlust. And who would better know than someone who was in combat duty?
Exactly. But that was a different war than the Middle East. The Middle East has had so much different type of stuff happen
Yes.
that was way different than Vietnam. Yeah, there was gruesome stuff in Vietnam, but not anything like the stuff that's coming out of Afghanistan.
Yeah, like IEDs and, I mean, a baseball bat is not an IED.
No.
You know, a
It's not a
cell
gun.
phone is not a grenade. You know, it's not.
Oh, they freak out because we got a camera. They think the camera is a weapon. The only weapon that the camera is to catch them doing something
It's
wrong.
for veracity, the truth.
And the sheriff's department doesn't have body cams, and neither does state patrol. And, the city at least has body cams, and some of the officers are pretty decent and, don't mind being videoed. But there's a lot of them that shine their lights in our eyes and stuff, and that's not professional by any means.
How many lumens do you reckon a service weapon has on it of light?
It's got to be at least 1,000.
So there were like maybe 5 officers with service weapons shining on that Novack scene. So maybe 5,000 lumens were lighting the thing up,
there's
at least.
That cop just got carried away. He shot when he shouldn't have shot. He was reliving Afghanistan, I'm sure.
That's horrible. It's frightening. How many times a night does that happen to other people in Spokane? They don't even know they have rights.
A lot. That's why we're out here trying to show people that they have rights. And a lot of people don't want to. They're worried about it. They're afraid that they're going to get hassled and stuff. Well, if I get hassled, I get hassled. I'm going to try and do what I can to protect our community from the lawless cops that we have.
Yeah, better to die doing this than to be doing nothing. For a good man to do nothing.
Exactly. If we get through to one person over what we do, that's great. That's a win in our column. But we need to get more people to realize that what they're doing is so wrong.
Yes. Because they're making victims. Some of these people that they pick on, there's no victim.
Right.
They haven't done anything to anybody.
And like your son, that's completely wrong.
But what the officer did to him was more wrong than anything my son had ever done.
Exactly. But see, he'll probably get away with that.
He won't in the long run.
Well, God will get him in the long run. But, the thing is people need to wake up and smell the coffee. Like I saw a deal today about, you're supposed to stop, and whatever the cop says, you're supposed to do it. BS, you have rights.
If he says, do me a favor, step out of the car, no, you don't. It's
No.
in our state constitution, it's in the United States Constitution. And we, the people of Washington, are not yielding our sovereignty to that kind of crap. If there's no cause for it, then don't do it to us.
Exactly. And another thing is, you know, I'm not going to get down on the fucking ground like some dog. You
So they
know,
can do a lateral neck hold on you and like
if
snip your spine or something.
if I do something wrong and they need to talk to me, I will stand there and comply with what, you know, I should for what I did. But I'm not going to get on the ground.
I'm always as respectful as possible. When they ask me, will you step out of the car? I'm like, with all due respect, sir, I am not going to step out of the car. What crime have I committed?
Exactly.
And I don't call them names, and I mean, even every cop deserves a chance, and it should be treated like it, with respect of any other human being.
Well, they get the respect they give me.
True.
If they're respectful to me, I'm respectful to them. But if they're not respectful to me, I have no reason to be respectful to them.
No, and then they can get put out on Front Street how they act.
Oops, sorry.
Sorry. Me too. I like to have a tendency.
Hey, Ontario. Hey, Utah Cop Watch. Arizona Desert News.
Good exercise for an old this time.
For a fat old man, too. I should almost trade you.
What brought you to the cause?
Just tired of seeing. I started watching YouTube videos of people getting hassled for their rights. And, some of them were getting arrested for no reason. They were standing on a public sidewalk recording in public where they're allowed to do it.
Yeah.
And yet they, arrested them. And that's bullshit. Excuse me, but that is. And that stuff needs to quit. And that's why I got into it, I want everybody's rights to be, given, You have a right, if you abuse your rights, then that's one thing, but, if you don't exercise your rights, I'm going to exercise rights to show you that you have rights. Because you have rights, and you need to be able to and I think it was the Washington Post was the one that put out the article today about comply with whatever a cop says to do. And it's like, that's BS. One video I saw, this guy down in Arkansas was working for Burlington Northern Railroad.
Yeah.
And he was over by the railroad tracks, and this cop pulls him over. And the guy was visibly kind of upset about the fact that this cop pulled him over. And then he starts being an asshole to him. The guy has the guy get out of the car. Don't get up on me, the cop says. And then threatened arrest. Well, then when the guy he put him in cuffs and stuff and was just a real dick to him. So when the guy went to file a complaint against this officer, they gave him charges of resisting arrest and some other things. And he did none of that. But they're trying to get him not to file this complaint against the cop, which he had every right to file it.
So they use the charges as a intimidation and a leverage.
Right, but the guy still went through and
Yeah.
filed the
I
complaint.
just wanted to make sure before you left, this is Jean leading. I'm
Hi,
This is Christine Vitelli. I was telling you a little bit about what happened to Chase, and I think he wanted to ask you some questions.
Dean, I have a YouTube channel, 420 or
I've
YouTube.
got the card, and I have watched your YouTube so far.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for what you guys are doing. It's a full-time job, isn't it?
Yes. Unfortunately, I got other things to do, so it's hard to always catch it.
There's
But we
another mother. I wish she was here today so you guys could talk to her too.
we need to get more people out recording the cops. That's the only way they're going to break up their gang.
Because everybody says that what's going on with the... Thank you, Sue.
I've not gone yet.
They always say, what's going on in the police department that all this stuff's happening now? Well, this is nothing new.
No.
It's just they have body cams now, so they're being held accountable. That's what's going on.
Well, they're kind of being held accountable. They're not totally being held accountable. You know, and we had like a sergeant or a corporal downtown one day tell us that he was afraid of what we do. Or he said, I'm scared of what you guys do.
I know he already asked me for this one.
An honest police officer should embrace a body cam.
And should embrace us out filming them.
Yeah, because it shows them doing what they're supposed to be doing, and it saves them from people making false reports and stuff. But an honest police officer should embrace having.
But this guy definitely murdered David, from what I saw.
And then the guys across the street, I keep talking about them. My attorney keeps telling me, just let that go. We can't deal with that right now. We have to go after the city first. But you know, like he came out and told the police officers David had already been shot, but they thought he was still alive, but he wasn't. And he came out on his porch. Now he's so worried about David being a shooter, you know, and he keeps coming out on his porch. And he comes out on his porch and he goes, come on and shoot the guy and get it over with so I can go back to bed.
Oh my God. That's a little overkill.
It must be a Sue Morgan thing. I keep saying you guys look so pretty. It must be a Sue.
Did you folks hear that? The neighbor across the street told the cop to shoot the guy even after he was dead and get it over with,
So I could go back to
so he
bed.
could go back to bed. That's pretty lame.
Can I get you? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's on the body cam. It's on the body cam.
Can I get you to give me the rundown, kind of when I showed up and just introduced myself? I didn't have you on camera then. Just kind of when you shot in the back and stuff like that. Would you mind just telling me about that? Just what you told me there.
Yeah, because it's all public record.
He was shot in the back, huh? Wow. I didn't know that part. I just knew he was
I didn't know
shot.
either till a couple days ago. Or last week.
So that's why the coroner said homicide for his.
I don't know. But
I swore that's what it said on the autopsy.
If you guys have time, when you come to the house, I could pull up the video and show you. He's laying out in the yard. It's a flat yard on the grass, and they're trying to find an entry wound. It's very well lit up. They're all up there close with, you know, flashlights and spotlights and stuff. You can see everything.
And we know how bright they are.
And they're very bright, and they can't find the entry wound until they roll him over. It's on the far side of his back, but to me, if they got to roll you over to find it, it's in your back. And I know legally it doesn't make a difference, but I think to the public it makes a difference. There's a stigma attached with being shot in the back. You know?
That's cowardly. A coward shoots somebody in the back. Of course, I think this cop was a coward for shooting before he even, pretty much before he got done saying ground.
The last, from the
shot
time
like,
the last word of the last command was given, and David was weighed close to 300 pounds, and he had a lot of health problems. He couldn't just drop to the ground.
same with me. I'm not going to get on the
And
ground.
in 6 seconds, and plus I don't think he thought they were there for him. He hadn't done anything. That was illegal. He was being noisy because he was hitting his head. But he hadn't done anything. So I think, and then they yelled, Krista, what did they yell? Go in your house or shelter in place in your house or something like that?
No, they were screaming, get in your house.
Get in your
Get
house.
in your house.
Sorry, folks. Somebody decided to call me in the middle of the stream. It's kind of annoying.
Like that.
I'll make sure I'm home.
No, usually you wait till after.
Well, I don't know for sure when you're on sometimes. 'Cause I don't always get the update. I kind of like yours a little better than mine. This thing. Except I don't like that. Well, hey folks, thanks for tuning in. Looks like the protest is breaking down. We're gonna go over to Mrs. Novack's place and look at some video that she has. Thanks for tuning in. Have a wonderful day. Always record the cops. Stay safe.